Alright, here we go. Hey, what's up? What's happening? Welcome back to Movie Buffers. How are ya? That's great. Well, we're gonna start this Christmas season off with a little film from the year of 2000. Directed by a canceled guy, Brett Ratner, scored by a very busy guy at this time, Danny Elfman, and starring a very laid-back version of Nicolas Cage, and a charismatic powerhouse, Téa Leoni, and an angel, a demon, a spirit? I don't know. Don Cheadle, Cash. The magic guy with a gun. I watched this film a lot when it came out on VHS. It was a film that was Christmassy and PG-13 enough for me to watch year-round, and it had some adult content that I didn't quite understand yet, but it made me feel like I was growing up and understanding the development of a family and the big questions in life. What if? I just rewatched this last night with my wife who hadn't seen it, and I was expecting some bad, cringy, funny type stuff, being that it's a Nick Cage movie, and that's the way I remember most of his filmography, but I was pleasantly surprised at how good this film is. It's so interesting and entertaining throughout the whole 2+ hour runtime, and we get so much story. From the opening where he leaves London and Kate asks him to stay in the airport, to the glimpse of him falling in love with his family and this version of himself, it's packed. It's a pretty packed to the brim story. Right away, Cage's performance is very strange, but after seeing such copy and paste content lately, it all felt very fresh. And at the time, I see why people held him at such a high status in the late 90s and early 2000s. You know, I'm not going to deny all the cliches and stereotypes in this film, like Don Cheadle's character, Cash, is pulling out a gun at the store owners that were very stereotypically Asian. Also, the gunman's name is Cash. I mean, real simple stuff here. He also chases her down in an airport at the end of that film, which actually, Cage sells that scene, man. It's quite emotional. I mean, as long as you don't look at it from her side of things, it kind of seems like a guy you once knew, like having a mental breakdown at her expense. Then again, maybe it was Cash's magic. It's not clear as to whether or not it's actually magic. It's of course in vein of A Christmas Carol and a little bit of It's a Wonderful Life, but it really stands alone as a solid drama that is quite effective and can second as a Christmas movie. At times, it feels like a man living in the year 2000's fantasy about a successful president of a company who has a glimpse of a simpler life, which they kind of nailed, but it reeks of that early 2000s sleazy film producer bait that it's built around a daydream of a white man in America. Once you get past all that weirdness, this film turns out to be more realistic than some films. The stress of life when you have kids makes this also relatable. It also provides this warm chicken soup-like feeling while watching it. At least it does for me. Téa Leoni's character is great in this too. Her character wasn't much of a stereotype like the rest of the supporting characters. She gives a very funny performance and actually makes a good point in the film when telling Jack that she loves her simple life in the suburbs where they are happy, and to her she feels like the richest person in the world because they all have each other. And I had a very interesting conversation with my partner after the film too about how it just didn't seem fair to have an ending of a film where all these extremely impactful moments with the family didn't actually happen. It kind of felt like it was a depressing way to end everything. And to some level I think she's right. I mean, if it comes down to it all being in his head and it wasn't actually Cash's magic, or it was just a fantasy in his dream the previous night, it really doesn't seem like they thought that through, how people that really have families would be a little bit more hurt by seeing this kind of outcome. Because, you know, people love their families. It also didn't seem like Jack needed to learn much of a lesson. He was just kind of a rich bachelor on Wall Street. I mean, unless he needed a reality check on working on Wall Street, then I'd say, yeah, maybe he needs a better job. I love Cage's freakouts in the movie too. Absolutely hysterical. I also thought it was really funny how he would start going on a rant about how he lived in another life and had all these luxuries, and it wasn't really his life he was living. The way Kate would just look at him as if he was messing around with her and joking around in some way. I thought it was a really nice touch. It did sound like he was always going on these midlife crisis rants, and they were hilarious. The kid actor who plays the daughter was really good too. That always adds some points when the kids aren't completely bad at acting, and the baby was also adorable. It was also really cool too to see a guy sit down and tell his friend how much he should appreciate his wife instead of try to have an affair. You don't see that much in movies, and especially in this time period. Jeremy Piven was an alright character. So that's it, The Family Man. Have you seen it? Comment below and tell me what you think. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, smash the bell so you can get notified when new episodes come out on this channel. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever it is you celebrate. Just happy whatever. Have a wonderful time. And this is Movie Buffers. Thanks for watching. See you next time.